On a cold day in November 1872, a merchant ship departed from New York Harbor. Its name was the Mary Celeste. Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia were on board, preparing to cross the Atlantic Ocean on a journey to Italy. The crew consisted of experienced sailors. Everything about the voyage seemed completely ordinary. But within a few weeks, this ship would become part of one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history. On December 4th, 1872, the crew of another vessel, the Dei Gratia, spotted a strange ship drifting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Something seemed wrong. The wind was strong, the sails were still raised, yet the ship was moving aimlessly across the sea. Concerned by its unusual behavior, the captain of the Dei Gratia sent several men to investigate. When they boarded the Mary Celeste, they were met with a scene that would leave them stunned. The ship was completely deserted. No captain, no family, no crew. It was as if everyone had vanished without a trace. But the strangest part was what they discovered next. There were no signs of a violent struggle, no blood, no evidence that weapons had been used. Most of the valuables were still on board. The crew's personal belongings had largely been left untouched. In the cargo hold, nearly 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol remained exactly where they should have been. It did not look like the work of pirates, and perhaps even more surprisingly, the ship was not sinking. The Mary Celeste was still perfectly afloat. There was enough food and fresh water on board to last for months. So why had everyone abandoned the ship? Over the years, investigators proposed dozens of theories. One of the earliest explanations was piracy. But pirates usually stole valuable cargo and personal possessions. On the Mary Celeste, most of those items were still there. As a result, the piracy theory gradually lost support. Another possibility was mutiny. Perhaps the crew had turned against Captain Briggs and taken control of the vessel, yet the lack of any signs of conflict made that explanation difficult to believe. Others suggested something far more mysterious. Stories began to spread about sea monsters, supernatural forces, and unexplained events at sea. These tales captured the public imagination, but none of them were supported by real evidence. Years later, researchers began focusing on a more practical explanation: the industrial alcohol cargo. According to some experts, alcohol vapors may have accumulated inside the cargo hold. This could have created the fear of an imminent explosion. Captain Briggs may have believed the ship was about to blow apart. In an attempt to protect everyone on board, he may have ordered the crew into the lifeboat temporarily. The plan may have been simple: wait at a safe distance, then return once the danger had passed. But the ocean rarely offers second chances. If the rope connecting the lifeboat to the ship had snapped, the small boat could have drifted away within minutes. Meanwhile, the Mary Celeste would have continued moving forward with the wind. Today, this remains one of the most widely accepted explanations, yet no definitive proof has ever been found. The lifeboat was never recovered. Captain Briggs and his family were never seen again. Neither were any of the crew members. It was as though they had simply disappeared into the vast Atlantic Ocean. More than 150 years have passed. And still, no one knows exactly what happened aboard the Mary Celeste. Why would an experienced crew abandon a ship that was still sailing? What forced them to leave behind safety, supplies, and their only chance of survival? And most importantly, what really happened to the missing passengers of the Mary Celeste? Perhaps one day we will know the answer. Or perhaps this mystery will remain forever hidden beneath the dark waters of the Atlantic.